When a single clip on your feed turns centuries of craftsmanship into a cinematic backdrop, real people and fragile stones pay the price.
Right. And today we're looking at how those images travel, from set to screen to a million feeds, and what gets left out along the way.
I'm Port Norn. Picture this, a high-energy chase across weathered stone, sunlight breaking through banyan roots, dust rising in cinematic slow motion. It looks incredible on a streaming poster, but often the crew never consulted local conservators. The scene was staged on plaster replicas, or worse, in a protected area without proper oversight.
I'm Nisa. Hold on, that sounds familiar. We've seen similar footage on platforms like TikTok and Instagram, and even in a recent streaming action film on Netflix, where temple-like ruins were framed purely for spectacle. The visual shorthand becomes the whole story.
Exactly. The shorthand is exotic, abandoned, available. That erases centuries of religious practice, local stewardship, and conservation work. When the audience believes a temple is just a ruin, they visit differently, behave differently, and sometimes demand experiences that damage the site.
Right. Quick example. A viral TikTok clip last year showed workers removing stones and called it looting. But Apsara National Authority had posted permits showing a documented restoration at Bantier Srey, scaffolding wrapped in blue tarpaulin, conservators carefully labeling fragments. The clip stripped all that context away.
Those missing details matter. Donors worry, researchers pause field work, and the local team doing careful restoration can be accused of theft. That's reputational damage that translates into less funding and more risk for the very people protecting our heritage.
Let's get concrete with 2 short case studies, so this is an abstract. First, an entertainment shoot that wanted an untouched ruin aesthetic. Crews built temporary sets next to delicate carvings, heavy equipment, cables, and a lot of foot traffic over ancient pathways.
Right. And in that production, local artisans were hired only as extras instead of advisors. No one mapped weight-bearing points on the stone. The result? Microfractures in bas reliefs that took months of conservation to detect and document. Not dramatic on camera, but real damage off camera.
Wait, did the production get fined? Did local authorities step in?
There was a formal notice from the local heritage office and a requirement to fund an emergency assessment, yes. But the larger point is prevention. If cultural consultants were at the table from day one, those microfractures never occur.
And the second piece?
A viral clip framed a restoration trench as evidence of theft. Close-ups of hands lifting carved blocks, dramatic captions claiming local theft rings. The truth: careful removal, cataloging, and numbered crates destined for conservation labs. Yet by the time APSRA posted clarification, the clip had been shared hundreds of thousands of times.
Curious? Those are dangerous loops. Platforms reward engagement. Short, sensational frames beat careful explanation every time. But I want to push here. Creators still choose words, thumbnails, and edits. They can decide to add context.
I don't disagree. Creators do have responsibility. But look, platforms design the race. Recommendation engines value watch time and shares. When the algorithm favors outrage or mystery, creators feel pressure to manufacture clicks. So responsibility is shared. Creators, platforms, and audiences.
Okay, fair. But someone has to break the cycle. My view, creators can lead by example. Add a caption, name the site, date, and whether work is restoration or filming. Hire a cultural advisor. Even one sentence can change perception.
Agreed. And platforms can make subtle changes that matter. Prioritize links to official sources, downrank repeated sensational claims that lack verification, and make it easier to view context, like an expandable official statement panel for heritage sites. Small UX changes add up.
Let's offer listeners practical steps right now. 3 quick moves. 1, check the source. Is the uploader a named journalist, a museum, or an anonymous account? 2, reverse image search or use TinEye to find earlier uses of the photo or frame. 3, look for an official page, Apsara, museum, or local news, before you share.
Example in practice, a friend sent a clip claiming looting at Angkor. Step 2 showed the frames were from a 2019 museum restoration article. Step 3 found the Apsara update confirming the conservation timeline. That 1-minute check kept a false story from spreading.
We also asked a Khmer filmmaker about best practice. Their advice was clear. Involve local leaders early, pay consultants fairly, and give credit on screen and in press materials. That both protects the site and enriches the story.
Here's a positive model we can all learn from. A recent documentary crew partnered with Khmer artisans, used raised walkways to protect carved stones, and left a small fund to train local conservators in documentation techniques. The film looked better for it. Richer detail, real voices, and the community gained skills and income.
That's the flip side of the problem. When you do it right, the story deepens. Audiences get a stronger emotional connection when they hear a guardian's voice, when the camera lingers on a craftsman's hands cataloging a fragment, when you know what those Apsara carvings mean to the neighborhood priest.
Before we move on, a short listener note. I love visiting temples, but social media sometimes makes me feel like I'm trespassing. How should visitors behave?
Simple guidance. Follow posted rules, hire local guides, don't climb on carvings, and learn 1 or 2 sentences about the site before you go. When you post photos, write an accurate caption. Say which temple it is, and note if you visited during a conservation project.
We promised 3 takeaways. Here they are. 1. Context changes everything. A caption or a link can turn a rumor into an accountable report. 2. Responsibility is shared. Creators, platforms, and audiences each have work to do. 3. Small habits matter. Verify before sharing, and support productions that hire local experts.
1 practical homework. The next time you see a striking Cambodian clip, pause. Do a 1-minute check. Reverse image search. Look for an Apsara or museum post, and if you share, add that context. It's a tiny moment that improves the whole conversation.
We'll keep following stories where media and heritage meet. If you have an example, a clip, a caption, a positive production you admired, send it our way, and we may feature it in a future episode.
Thanks for spending this time with us. Protecting Khmer heritage starts with how we tell stories about it, and with small choices each of us makes online.
Subscribe to NSP Plus TV for clear, thoughtful coverage that defends Khmer heritage and exposes misleading narratives. The facts are clear. The evidence is undeniable. Stand with Cambodia.
We'll see you next time. Share this episode if it helped you think differently about what you watch and share, and help raise the bar for how the world sees Cambodia.